Hello, everyone. Welcome. This is Yonks, and very excited here. This is our very first annual meeting for Triple Win Foundation 3-Win DAO. And this is a DAO ecosystem that we've been building out, and it couldn't be at a better time because ETH Denver, this is Friday, and I'm sure the ETH Denver after parties are absolutely off the hook, but this is something that we, as true bidlers, took a pause from all the fun at ETH Denver and all the connections that we're making to deliver our very first annual meeting for Triple Win Foundation. And the main project that we're going to be focusing on here in 2023 is REtoken, the Real Estate DAO, and our Web3 real estate investing strategy that we're calling Buy, Monetize, Tokenize. And you can see our NFT for BMT guide represented very clearly here. And this is a very limited edition POAP that only the three of us on this live stream will be receiving. This, we are the co-founders. And I'm going to kick this over to Tyler, Mrs. Yonks, my superpower, so that she can do an introduction for herself. Then she can kick it over to Amy and then back to me, and then we'll get on with our agenda here today.
Hey, everybody. I'm Tyler, aka Mrs. Yonks. Super excited to have our annual meeting. This is so fun. We're actually thinking about everything that we were dreaming about doing this year forward a year ago and feel like we've accomplished a ton. And yeah, just excited to be on the team and go through everything that we have done so far this year.
And if you would like Amy to give a real quick introduction about yourself.
Yeah, this is Amy Marcella, and I've been with the team since July, I think, of 2021, if I'm right. And I'm super excited that this is all coming together. Still working on a lot of stuff, but we are moving the needle forward. So hopefully you'll hear more from us and come join us.
Great. Thank you, Amy, and thank you, Tyler. So, and myself, my name is Jason Yonker, and as Amy mentioned, we actually launched REtoken, the Real Estate DAO, as a Wyoming DAO LLC in July of 2021. And we'll probably talk quite a bit more about REtoken, the Real Estate DAO, here shortly, but I really wanted to momentarily digress and tell the origin story of Triple Win Foundation. And as you may or may not have heard me talk about, we love, and we're actually exclusively focused on creating win-win-win situations here. And the origin story of this really goes back to the triple bottom line, which was introduced in an academic article in 1994, which really talks about the social, environmental, and economic impacts that a business can and should make. And that's one of the things that I think is a true differentiator for our path towards real estate tokenization, as well as just, again, creating a win-win-win situation. So like real estate, the tenants, the primary economic drivers in most real estate investment situations, we wanted to ensure that we're creating a win for them as well. And that's one of the things that we're very excited about. We're actually going to be submitting our Ethereum Denver hackathon through the Biddle-a-thon under the impact and public goods section. And that's one of the things, I guess we could go ahead and start talking about that. But before we do, Tyler or Amy, would you like to chime in as far as the ethos of Triple Win Foundation?
It's been really interesting to think about people in the space of real estate and crypto, because overwhelmingly what we see are a bunch of either When Lambo projects or a bunch of people that just want to suck out all the money for a certain group of people. And just being able to say, no, we're actually in it for the whole team has been a really interesting business model, as much as a kind of a strategy, as much as a PR talking point. And when people realize that we mean it, and we're getting tons of traction just off that. So it's been really interesting. It's creating a lot more interest in our project than I initially thought it would.
And just for the sake of it, I thought that I'd bring over this article. This is actually the origin story of Win Win Win. And this is John Elkington's article from 1994. And it's the title of this article is Towards the Sustainable Corporation, Win-Win-Win Business Strategies for Sustainable Development. And one of the things that we started to see in the crypto Web3 DAO environment is this ReFi concept, which stands for regenerative finance. And I really believe our project hits on all of those narratives, which makes it rather exciting. And anyway, let's go ahead and keep this moving forward. I'm going to copy this and throw it in the Notion article so that we have that. This bullet point, create a bookmark. So Ethereum Denver, our Bidilathon team, and I've got that open in another tab here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So this is a great example of Bidil in public. So we've got our Zoom live stream, and that's where we're talking about the format here for conducting community calls, working groups. And this is a more unique situation, being an annual meeting. So this is only something that we'll obviously do once a year, but looking forward to doing this on 3/3 for Triple Win Foundation every March the 3rd here going forward. So anyway, this is a Notion page that we put together for our Bidilathon team. And we've really narrowed it down to 5 bounties that we're going to be submitting on. Well, technically, I guess it's the main track plus 4 additional bounties. So again, already have spoken about impact and public goods tracked here. And I think really the thing that is, again, a differentiator for our project is what are we tokenizing? So let's take a slight tangent here and talk about Tesla House Co-op. So that is a cooperative housing model. We actually are doing the live stream right now, at least from myself and Tyler's perspective, from our very first Tesla House Co-op in North Glen. North Glen is a North Denver suburb. And this is one of the things that we'll be having more conversations about in the future. So before we go on to the next bounty, Tyler, is there anything that you would like to quickly add about Tesla House Co-op or impact of public goods track?
Yeah, the biggest thing about Tesla House Co-op is that the important part, finding the right house, finding tenants, all the stuff that drives the economics of it is actually already online and working in our first house. What we have left to do is more of the tech and some of the pretty development work. But the concept's already working financially. I'm actually sitting outside our first Tesla house right now, and we have tenants in it, and people love it. And we're expecting to have a long wait list of people that want to live in these co-ops because they're not even online yet. We've already got people wanting to live there. So I'm pretty excited to actually finish getting it on the blockchain and finish the project.
Yeah, like I said, we'll be talking a lot more about that, probably under, and we might even be doing that under the REtoken DAO or a dedicated Tesla House Co-op channel. So moving down the list of bounties, best use of Polygon. Man, we're integrating Polygon so much into every component of this DAO ecosystem that we're building out. We launched REtoken, the Real Estate DAO, using an ERC20 social token. And that's one of the things that we will be receiving here tonight for the participation on that is some REtoken. We use that as the proof of participation or a proof of contribution. Pretty simple model, and we're planning on and have already roadmapped the conversion of that to a future secured token offering, more than likely done via a regulation crowdfunding. but that is yet to be determined. So anyway, getting back on track here on the bounty list. So the other one that we're talking about using, and spoke a little bit about Polygon and our ERC20 token there. So one of the things that's very exciting that is functionally our minimum viable community is an ERC 721 on Polygon, an NFT for short. And it's a proof of membership that we're using. Again, it's a Polygon ERC 721, and we're using Unlocked Protocol. We're huge fans of Unlocked Protocol. That's going to be a proof of membership. And then one of the components, we talked a little bit about our Web3 real estate investing strategy: buy, monetize, tokenize. We'll be talking more about that here tonight through our annual meeting. But we're also going to be using Polygon and ERC20 through Syndicate. Syndicate is a Web3 investment club framework. And we're going to be, whenever somebody contributes like through our real estate token club, whether that's in Colorado, Ohio, or Tennessee, are our first 3 states that we're in pre-launch for until June 1st. But that's going to be like $100 a month contribution. So in $100 USDC, then they'll get via the Syndicate smart contract, ERC20 as the proof of contribution. So that'll be our best use of Polygon case. And then we're also going to be using Polygon throughout. Tyler and I have already been using Opolis Web3 payroll for Polygon via USDC. So anything more that you want to add on best use of Polygon, Tyler? I mean, we use it so much within our ecosystem. I don't know how much more you want to talk about that right now.
I just think there's such a huge appetite for real world assets on chain. I would love to set an expectation that this is the right way to use Polygon and use crypto in general in real estate. I think there's such a huge case for USDC to knock out a specific part of the financial system where people feel shut out. They've got a replacement now with USDC. So it's going to be a really interesting way to open that up for people.
Yeah. And what's been your experience, Amy, with Polygon?
I think most of the DAOs I'm in are using Polygon, and because of its cheaper transaction fees and very affordable. A lot of the people that does metaverse stuff with wearables are using Polygon because it's, like I said, cheaper for them to do transactions and mint their NFTs. And I think Starbucks and Adidas had partnered with them to promote their NFTs also. So Polygon is getting adoption really well.
Yes, and it might even be better to talk about building Web3 businesses at scale, because we've been talking a little bit about USDC already, and the 1.3 and 1.4 here on the bounties list are using USDC. Besides using USDC through our real estate token clubs, one of the other use cases that we're really wanting to implement is a rent or cooperative contribution. And one of the things that we're launching, and this is probably something that I didn't even do a good job explaining yet, but the main thing that we're launching here at Ethereum Denver is what we're calling, through REtoken, the Real Estate DAO, a private property token. So that's the main thing that we're implementing code for. And this is probably a great segue into this bounty right here, is that we're planning on using Open Zeppelin and admin. They actually call it Defender, which is an administration panel for managing smart contracts. So at the hackathon here at ETH Denver, we're launching our ERC 1404 private property token. And for those that probably aren't familiar with ERC 1404, it's the security token extension of ERC20. that allows some transferability restrictions. So like in this particular use case, while we're on the path here, going back to our Web3 strategy, buy, monetize, tokenize, while we're on the path towards creating a security token, over here in the buy phase, we're planning on issuing a private property token with some very simple tokenomics. In the buy phase, $1 of the project equals one private property token. So let's say that the property that we acquire is worth 500,000. We would issue 500,000 private property tokens. So one of our expectations in this buy, monetize, tokenize phase, and we're expecting this to be a 6 to 36 month time frame, is that here in the monetize phase, creating shared value, this is one of the impact public goods where we can incorporate through the Tesla House cooperative model. And over here, the people that are monetizing the property, the co-op housemates, and then share that in some proportion with the investors on the project. And again, going back to Open Zeppelin, that's where we're going to be managing the private property tokens. So like we're going to have a unique, we call it an SPV, special purpose vehicle. It's basically a business entity, because at the end of the day, a property, it can only be owned by a natural person or a business entity, and we call that commonly an SPV, and that's what we'll be tokenizing and representing. Going back to that property that's worth 500,000 of these private property tokens. Now, this is a great use case of USDC, because like we would really like to have it structured where no single person or no single player or individual or DeFi partner, whatever that case may be, is really more than 10%. Now, I'm not sure if we'll be able to get there right away, but that's ultimately the goal, just to have a little bit more distribution of our private property token. And then what we can do in that case, like in this 500,000 private property token, we can send maybe 50,000, 10% to DeFi player A, DeFi player B. And then we can say, hey, based upon the terms, we'll send you USDC, you send us back our private property tokens. And that's basically a concept for leveraging or utilizing our private, and we're not even talking about leverage here. That's just a very simple case, no leverage involved, but a solid use case for our private property tokens to be utilized with USDC. And USDC was pretty great. Tyler and I went by the Ethereum Denver Circle booth and got a selfie with, I think it was Jeff and Chase, if I remember correctly. So what else would you like to add to that as far as the bounties? I think I covered all of them.
Yeah, that was great. Nothing to add.
Do you have any questions, Amy?
I'm good. I just wish I was there.
Well, hopefully things will align where we can make that happen for a later conference in 2023 or ETH Denver 2024.
For sure, for sure.
So I don't know if I needed to discuss anything else over here. That was really all that I had on ETH Denver. Was there anything more that you wanted to add right now, Tyler?
No, I've actually got a lot in the prior year achievements and the looking forward for the financials, and I wanted to make time for that also. So some of the stuff you covered I actually had in my section too, but so we'll skip over that. But yeah, I've got lots of achievements to report.
Awesome. Well, I will hand it over to you and I will check it off as you go through it.
Cool. Okay, so this is a little nuts. This has all happened within the last year, but International DAO Day 22222, we had our first token summit. That was incredible. We had lots of killer speakers. That was a great way to kick off this year. And then we hosted several blockchain boot camps for real estate online. Really positive about that. We also formed Affiliate Marketing DAO. Jason, did you want to talk about AFM DAO?
No, not at this time.
Okay. So we kept building REtoken. We set our strategy by monetize tokenize, which really gave us a lot of clarity around what we're doing. One of the I think initial challenges with REtoken was we wanted to form this community. We weren't really sure how we wanted to form it. And then we took a couple months off, and Jason really got a lot of clarity around that vision moving forward. So we started that. We set up the affiliate program. We set the terms. We also wrote an introduction website. It's pretty basic, but it works. It's got the NFTs. We found a plugin that can do the affiliate program. It tracks. So we're all set up on that. It's exciting. Then we formed our initial 3 investment clubs, which were Colorado, Ohio, and Tennessee. And we set the initial club constitution, which is actually not on here, but we do have those going. We set up structure to function as unincorporated nonprofits. We're also going to set up special purpose vehicles to actually actually purchase property. When we get that far, we set standards on how we're going to issue tokens. That was all exciting. And then Jason started our contract with the ERC 1404, and we figured out the tokens mechanics with Superfluid and some of the streaming. You already talked about that some. Did you have anything else to add on the smart contract and what we're doing with those?
No, I think I fairly well covered that in the previous conversation.
Okay, great. So we'll keep going. Open Zeppelin, Polygon, best use. Those are bounties we're submitting. That was great. We also decided that we're going to look into community land trusts, which are a way that we can separate out the ownership of the land with the ownership of the real estate. A lot of people tend to think I buy a house, therefore I just own the house and the land and everything, which is obviously pretty common. The 2 reasons why we're doing this is, one is if we are able to buy land separately from buying housing, then we can have some financial benefit for that in a bunch of different ways. We can also position ourselves as a public good, and we can raise money for the house and the land separately, which creates some interesting financial opportunities to solve the problem of housing. And oh, sorry, I lost my screen here for a second. Here. So that after that, kind of in that vein, we do have our first Tesla house co-op online. As far as the house goes, we rented a house. We signed a letter of intent to buy it. It's non-binding if we don't end up buying it, but we do intend to buy it as we get the clubs funded. And we are looking at making it a full-scale Tesla house with EV charging stations and tokenized vehicles. That's a little outside the scope of what we're doing here, but we do want to kind of throw a stake in the ground that we're already up and online and profitable with the co-op model. So when people say you need a proof of concept, I was like, I've got a proof of concept already. It works. So now we just need to get the tech part behind it. We've minted multiple social tokens. Jason, did you want to talk about the tokens, what they're doing, and is that anything you want to cover in this meeting?
No, I think that's a little outside of scope of that right now.
Okay. We wrote version 1 of our white paper. Is it finalized yet, or are we almost there? Because it's like 99% done if it's not already done.
No, there's still some stuff that we need to add, and then also I think the opportunity of incorporating some of our details for our like our private property token, for example, would be absolutely worthwhile to include in the white paper.
Okay, awesome. So we've got that. I got my Series 65, which is a FINRA US regulatory license. And I passed the real estate exam. I'm in the process of actually getting the license. I have to fill out some state paperwork and stuff. And we are still rocking out our Saturday morning book club, the DAO hack, super fun. So I think that's everything we did. Did I miss anything, Amy or Jason, at either of these?
Oh yeah, one of the things that I want to put on here, and I think you might have put it on here, but was our corporate resolution to apply for 501c3 status in 2023.
Oh, you're right. No, I did not put that on there.
Yeah, insert that in there. Yeah, that's important. And I was wondering, did we have a POAP for that?
I'm not sure if we did or not.
Can you
We'll
make
get you
one,
on here.
Jason?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Absolutely. We love some POAPs. Oh, the other thing was that ETHSign was a Web3 DocuSign alternative that Jason found that was it's really interesting. It's a little bit clunkier than DocuSign. You'd have to have a wallet. We had a little bit of trouble signing it, but it's free and it's forever in the blockchain, and we can cement stuff in time. So as that tool improves and we get better at using it, I think it's going to be a really interesting part of our strategy to throw in everything from maintenance records to anything else that we want to put on the blockchain. We can upload documents, we can sign stuff. It's just going to be a really interesting tool. One of the questions we've been getting asked a lot by different real estate investors and just different people that we've been talking to is, so the idea is cool, but why don't you just do it in Web 2? Why do you need Web 3? And one of the things that Jason always likes to talk about composability, which is definitely important. One of the other things that I think is also important is the permanence of these documents. I thought, I can't tell you how much frustration the average real estate investor goes through when there just are no records, or the person is saying, oh yeah, that was done, and it wasn't done, versus when we say, hey, the air conditioning was replaced, here's the record, or the roof was replaced, here's the record. There's no question mark about that, and they can't change it. And it just makes everything a lot cleaner in a real estate transaction. So what else did I miss on our year? Oh, actually, Jason, can you also add that we started researching BHR as a tool/partner. BHR is a it's kind of like a Web3 aggregator of different information. So think MLS plus different public records plus all kinds of tools in one common API. So if you're thinking about buying a house, instead of trying to research all these different aggregated records, you can just pay them for one report. You also have the opportunity to, if you're a real estate owner, you can claim your house and claim it as through their blockchain. So that's definitely an interesting tool too. So that I probably missed a few other things, but that's the bulk of what we did the past year. Super proud of all of us. Think it was a great effort to get all this done. And then looking forward, we have a lot to still do to finish this mission. And one of the things that we're continuing to build the team. Something that we are a little light on right now is dev talent. There's some projects that we would love some devs to be involved with. So if anybody's listening to this right now and you are a dev, or you know one who is really passionate about real estate and solving some of the housing crisis, love to connect with them. If we don't end up having somebody, we'll probably end up hiring it, but it's just to have somebody on the team that's really passionate about this. We're going to finish building out the front end of our website. The back end works, the NFTs work, the bundles work. The interface is not quite as clean as we'd like it to be, but we just need some UI UX in the front end, and it'll be great. We're also building out our private property token exchange. That's I'm missing the word token there. Private property token exchange. And as far as regulation securities compliance, we are making our best effort to comply with all of the regs that we know about, and our best guess at the regs that are either not finalized yet or laws don't exist. We're just trying to guess what we think the laws are going to be based on what they are now, so we can kind of stay on top of that, be legal and good and whatnot. Jason, do you have anything to add on any of that yet?
I do not.
All right, cool. We'll keep going. This is supposed to be private property token exchange. Okay. We'd love to onboard some more people into the community. So we're going to be doing that through BMT Guide, which is our $47 a year access to conference calls, workshops, other events that we're doing. Once people have a BMT Guide membership. At that point, they will have an opportunity to join an investment club. We don't have a public offering on investment clubs. You do have to be a BMT Guide member to do that. Right now, we have Colorado, Ohio, and Tennessee live. We are interested in filling those clubs up to a maximum of 99 members. If we get to 99, or it looks like we're going to get close to there, we would need to either fork the club or start another one, but that's a problem for another day. We're also looking at expanding to Texas, Arizona, Florida, maybe some other strategic states, and or expanding internally if we have enough interest in one or more of the states we already have. So those are both priorities for 2023, 24. We would really like to expand our marketing material, whether that's written material. Jason's been looking at applying at some different speaker roles. I have also our webinar strategy and just our content strategy in general. So did I miss anything on how we're going to onboard people into our community?
No, that's something that we'll be talking a lot, quite a bit here in 2023.
Okay, great. The question that a lot of people are asking is, when are we going to tokenize our first house? That's absolutely a priority in the next 12 months. And we are hopefully going to tokenize more than one. Kind of depends on how things go. We are continuing the bounty hunt. There are a lot of great bounties that we fit into. Our technology between syndicate.io and request.finance and superfluid and a lot of different tools that we're using. We just fit in so many different categories as far as where we fit. So we're going to keep bounty hunting as those opportunities come up. The other thing is we do have an opportunity as we get our nonprofit status applied for and finalized, start applying for grants, because again, we are solving a public good of housing. We're considering venture capital. We're not sold on it yet. If we find the right partner, we are open to discussions right now. And then we are working on on-chain accounting solutions right now. We are not in a good place with on-chain accounting. I need to get that. I really need to step that up for the next 12 months. So that's a high priority to get our books on the blockchain and get some more Web3 solutions there. So anything that I missed as far as what we're doing there?
No, that covers it pretty well. Great job, Tyler.
Cool. Okay, and then the last section that I had. Oh, did you have something, Amy?
I was just gonna ask, have I shared Wonderverse with you guys?
I don't think so. What's Wonderverse?
Okay. Well, it's a new tool that White Hat DAO is using, and it's on beta, I think, for the past 6, 7, 8 months. And so I'm gonna share it with you guys because it's free right now, and see
Okay,
if
awesome.
that's something we could use.
Yeah, thank you. That'd be great. I'd love to look at that. So as far as the financial goes, in our 3-win bank account, we have about $70 in fiat, which was just Jason and I personally putting in a couple $100 to get started, and we've been starting to pay some bills out of that. REtoken's treasury has a little over $12,000 in it. Some of that is in Ethereum, some of that's in the ETH safe, some of it's in the Polygon safe, and that's a mix of cash and a couple of different bounties that we've won, and I think an airdrop. And then we've got, I think, like $100 in a bank account, and then Jason and I have been paying a lot of REtoken's bills personally because we just again didn't have a good on-chain accounting solution. So we're going to be submitting a reimbursement to the DAO, probably $3,000 to $4,000 for some bills that we've been paying on the DAO's behalf, and that still leaves us with about $8,000 net for REtoken. And then Jason, one other thing I forgot to put on: we need to make a formal resolution to roll REtoken into the 3-win ecosystem. Everybody sort of informally agreed to that, but we didn't have a vote on it, so we didn't have a vote on that. And that's all I got. So back to you guys.
No, I think that pretty well covers it as far as where we're at and where we're going. Was there anything that you wanted to add, Amy?
I'm just reading through it, but yeah, everything seems okay.
Um, so we got a lot more, like after I started writing everything down, I think we got a lot more done than I thought we did. So this year has really kind of flown by, and um, it's been a really great productive year. So excited about moving forward. Um, yeah.
We need to
Yeah, and
take
I'm
care
real.
of those. We need to take care of those bills that you put out of your pocket just to do, proper business going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that wasn't something that I planned on doing. It was more of a request.finance, and then we didn't have a bank account, and then somebody needed to throw something on a credit card. And again, not ideal. That's why I said Web3 accounting is a high priority. And we've got the money to do it. So it was more of just me not taking the time to set things up properly. So we're gonna fix that all moving forward for next year.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that will be at the foremost of our conversations in March and April is Web3 accounting and bookkeeping, and we've got multiple different lenses that we're going to be looking at that through, whether it's Triple Win Foundation, our nonprofit, or an SPV that's going to be represented via the private property token that we're launching at the ETH Denver 2023 Biddle-a-thon. And that's one of the things that is going to be occupying myself and Tyler's time here throughout the weekend. So looking forward to putting forward a solid submission so that we can amplify the visibility on what we're building, because I think that we're poised for really creating some impact through this regenerative finance concept, buy, monetize, tokenize, that will ultimately be creating win, win, win. And this is March the 3rd, with not too many minutes left on Eastern time frame. But anything that you would like to add, Tyler or Amy, before we call it a good night here on March the 3rd of 2023?
Nothing on my end. I thought this was great.
I'm just looking forward to growing. That's it.
Yep, absolutely.
All right.
And
Well,
thank you for
happy
all your
3-Win
hard
DAO
work.
Day.
Thank you for all your hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, we will share with you how the hackathon unfolds here, but that's one of the things, like I said, that's going to be occupying Tyler and myself time, is that we've got to get a great pitch dialed down to either 90 seconds or 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that's something that's still trying to get some clarification on. But anyway, I could talk about this stuff all night, and I will stop talking about it now because we have a lot of work to do for our Biddle-a-thon at ETH Denver 2023.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, thanks everybody.
Have a good night.